Welcome to Elisha Space, your sanctuary for healing, growth, and authentic conversations. I'm your host, Elisha, and today we are diving into a deeply sensitive yet profoundly important topic, understanding the mother wound, its impact, and pathways for healing. If you've ever found yourself yearning for deeper connection or validation from your mother, battling feelings of inadequacy or guilt because of how that relationship played out, or even repeating patterns in your own relationships that mirror this complex bond, this episode is here to offer clarity, support, and practical tools for your healing journey. So whether you're listening from the comfort of your couch, out on a walk, or just seeking a moment of stillness, let's unpack this topic together, step by step. This will be a conversation that invites reflection, compassion, and empowerment. The mother wound isn't a clinical diagnosis or something you can neatly box up and file away. At its essence, the mother wound refers to the emotional, psychological, or even spiritual pain we might carry due to a strained, challenging, or unfulfilled relationship with our mothers. It's a wound shaped not only by personal experiences, but also by cultural expectations of motherhood and generational trauma that often goes unspoken. When we think about the mother wound, it's important to understand that it doesn't always come from ill intent. Mothers often do the best they can with the tools they've been given. But if they themselves experienced unhealed wounds, limited emotional resources, or cultural constraints, they may have unintentionally passed some of that pain onto us. The mother wound often shows up in ways that impact our emotional landscape, such as unmet emotional needs, growing up without the nurturing love or approval you craved, criticism or conditional love, feeling like love or praise had to be earned by being good enough, achieving enough, or avoiding mistakes. Enmeshment, a dynamic where your mother relied on you to fulfill her emotional voids, leaving little room for your individuality. Generational pain, inherited patterns of trauma, silence, or suppression passed down without healing. Remember, this wound isn't about blame, but about recognizing the impact that relationship has on your development. I want to pause for a moment to address the larger societal picture. As we talk about the mother wound, we must acknowledge the cultural ideas surrounding motherhood. Across cultures, mothers are often expected to be perfect, endlessly self-sacrificing, and always emotionally available. But at the same time, society offers little real support for mothers to meet these unrealistic expectations. So often, mothers are navigating their own struggles, economic stress, societal pressure, generational trauma, on top of raising children. In some cases, their pain or exhaustion gets projected into their children, especially daughters. If your mother seemed angry or resentful about certain aspects of her life, you might have internalized that as being your fault, even though it likely had nothing to do with you. It's this interplay between personal experience and larger systems that makes the mother wound such a layered topic, and one we approach with empathy, but also with a commitment to make ownership and taking that ownership of our healing. The impacts of the mother wound stretch far beyond childhood. Many of us carry its legacy into adulthood in ways we don't always recognize. Let's break this down into some specific areas so that you can reflect on your own experience. Number 1, your sense of self. When a mother is overly critical, emotionally distant, or focused on performance over connection, Children can grow up feeling like they're never enough or that their worth is tied to what they achieve, not who they are. Do you find yourself battling perfectionism, feeling like you must be hyper independent, or struggling with chronic self-doubt? These might be reflections of that wound. A lot of us internalize the belief, if my mother didn't fully love or accept me, no one else ever will. Unpacking that belief is part of healing, but we'll get to that later. Number 2, emotional expression. If you grew up in an environment where emotions weren't welcomed, either they were dismissed, criticized, or outright punished, you might struggle as an adult to identify, feel, or express your emotions. Maybe you're prone to hiding your feelings, fearing they'll be judged or ignored. Or maybe you notice that you bottle things up until they come out explosively. This is a survival response that likely began in childhood. Number 3, relationships with others. Our relationships can mirror unconscious patterns from our childhood. If your mother taught you, explicitly or implicitly, that love is earned or relationships are conditional, you may find yourself overgiving, seeking approval, or staying in unhealthy dynamics. Conversely, you might keep people at a distance, unsure how to trust others emotionally. Both are protective mechanisms born from pain. Number 4, your parenting patterns. For those of us who are mothers, the mother wound can feel especially weighty. You might be terrified of repeating the very patterns you experienced, or find yourself consciously overcorrecting, perhaps to the point of burnout. It's a delicate balance, but understanding the wound gives you the opportunity to parent from a position of healing rather than reaction. Healing the mother wound doesn't mean fixing your mother or even reconciling the relationship in every case. It's about reclaiming yourself and addressing the ways this wound has affected your life. Let's talk about specific practical steps you can take. Step 1, acknowledge and name the wound. The first step is awareness. Sit quietly with yourself and reflect. Where do I still feel emotional pain when I think about my mother or our relationship? Are there patterns in my life that feel connected to her influence, positive or negative? Was I given the emotional resources I needed as a child? And do I give those things to myself now as an adult? Naming your feelings, whether it's sadness, anger, disappointment, or even guilt, validates them. Journaling about specific moments or family patterns can help bring clarity. It's okay if what you uncover feels heavy. This is the starting point, not the destination. Step 2, set personal boundaries. If your relationship with your mother is ongoing complicated, boundaries become essential. Think about what you need in order to feel emotionally safe. Is there a behavior you won't tolerate anymore, like unsolicited criticism or guilt trips? Are there topics you need to limit in conversation? Do you need physical or emotional space between interactions to recover your energy? Setting boundaries can feel daunting at first, but remember, boundaries aren't meant to punish someone else. They're tools to protect your peace. You are allowed to prioritize your mental and emotional wellness. Step 3, reparent yourself. This is such a key part of healing. Whatever you didn't receive from your mother, validation, love, emotional presence, you can now give to yourself. Reparenting looks like affirming yourself instead of waiting for someone else's approval. I am proud of myself for how far I've come. Meeting your emotional needs. I feel sad today, and that's okay. I will give myself the comfort I deserve. Setting healthy routines and self-care practices. Recreating the nurturing environment you may not have had as a child. Reparenting is an act of self-compassion that heals you layer by layer. Step 4. Release resentment through forgiveness. Forgiveness is not the same as excusing harm. Instead, it's about freeing yourself from the hold of bitterness. This step might look like writing a letter to your mother that you never sent, pouring out everything you've held inside, then practicing forgiveness for your own sake. Realize that forgiveness doesn't happen in a single moment. It's something you revisit over time as you're ready. Step 5. Reclaim your identity. The mother wound can influence who you believe you have to be. Part of healing means reclaiming who you truly are. Reflect on this. What parts of myself do I keep hidden because of fear or shame? What brings me joy or peace, separate from any expectations placed on me? How can I step into the woman or the man I want to be, regardless of my past? You get to define your worth outside of those old wounds. As we close, I want to remind you that healing the mother wound isn't about fixing what's broken in the past. It's about deciding how you wish to live and love moving forward. Whether you're taking small steps or big leaps, every bit of your healing matters. You deserve compassion, care, and a life of emotional freedom. Thank you for creating the sanctuary for growth with me. Until next time, may you feel grounded in your worth, empowered in your healing, and committed to becoming the most authentic version of yourself.